Hey guys, this is National Master Kevin Yang back at it with another video. So I left you in this position where I said, I was at a dilemma as to whether I should take with a rook, trade rooks, go for the weakened a7 pawn. Should I go with the bishop and try to go for this a7 pawn, or should I go with this pawn? And ultimately, I decided bishop because I thought it was very powerful attacking a7. But in reality, there was an even better capture. The pawn takes c5 could have invited ideas like c6, c7, and bishop a6. And that's something that I missed, but I did something similar later on. So in the game, bishop takes, knight d7, and now bishop to a6. So I start making fun of the rooks because if you move your rook over, I'm going to play bishop to b7 and go for this a7 pawn. So rook to e8, and now bishop to d6. Now I could have also played bishop to b7 here, but I said I want to play bishop to d6 because, this rook looks like it doesn't have many squares to go to. So knight b6 happened, and I played bishop to c7. Just restrict the d8 square, and now this rook still doesn't have many squares to go to. Bishop to c8, a very desperate try, but bishop to b5 and bishop to c6, trapping the rook on a8. Takes, knight d7. I can see why that's happening because I was threatening bishop takes and rook takes rook. And here, bishop d6, preparing the fact that I might play rook to c7 and go for that pawn, but also double up and create that open target. Knight f6, bishop to c5. Now I'm just relocating my pieces, trying to get them on the best squares possible. a6, and now b4, preparing for b5 and really attacking that undefended rook. King to f7, b5, a5, rook to c7, and b6. So I'm slowly making my way through because the rooks are much powerful than the bishop and the knight right now, because the rook can travel a very long way down the lawnmower. Knight d7 and b7 was the killer move. If bishop takes b7, rook takes knight, and if rook takes b7, rook takes bishop. So one piece had to go, rook c6, and here I was in time pressure, I remember. So I just pre-moved my way to victory. I tried to get all the pieces in their respective squares, and then I started shifting things around. So as you can tell, it wasn't the highest quality of chess in the end, but I was able to make it work. So how did I win in this game, right? e4, so this part was okay, and I have to say knight f1 was a bad move. What I should have played is f3 or queen b3. I should have immediately broken this fence right away, because as you can tell, in the later stages of the game, I was still breaking the fence, and it just wasn't productive. So after bishop b4, I was playing okay here, right? At this point, I had already seen, I sort of seen where my pieces are going, and after knight c4, this was another turning point. Queen takes c4 was just not the way to go, right? So here, I think pawn takes c4 would have done a better job simply because the pawn on c3 is going to be weak forever. And number two, it gives the bishop more opportunity to come to d5 and maybe the knight as well, right? Maybe the knight comes to d5 and f5 push comes. And strategically, it'd feel like black would have an easier time. But in the game, I was able to trade queens. I was able to get this half open A file. I was able to create this lucky pressure on the structure, and by putting my bishop on a dominant square, note I could have also created a pass pawn here and got my bishop to a6, so that could have been something, but I was able to use my dominant bishops to really control the placement of black's pieces, right? I was moving the pawns up, I was making progress, and because I was making progress in the near end stages of the game, that's why I won. So, as you can tell, I was just finding my groove, and it definitely wasn't easy, right? Because I made some bad decisions at the start with knight f1, and then I wasn't exactly in the greatest position, but I was able to turn it around with the help of my opponent. With the queen trade, by breaking with c4, I was able to find these opportunities that weren't there before. And by finding them, I was able to consolidate my position, and especially I found a weakness to attack on, the a7 pawn. And because of that, I had a defining plan, and I followed it all the way through. So it's all about curiosity. It's all about finding your passion, finding your plan, because strategy is hard, right? And time management and being able to do these tactics and really playing the games and getting to feel for a sense of what kinds of strategies are good, what kinds are bad. That's going to give you a leg up in all these kind of positions. So chess is about strategy, but it's always about recognizing your opponent's moves, trying to make your own move, and really planning to be successful. So, chess is a parallel to life in a way, but it's more like a very small version. It's a concentrated version. So, hope you enjoyed it, and hope I'll see you in my channel soon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I can do better, but otherwise, I'll see you next time.